Okay, hi everyone. Let's work through this passage on friendship. This is Unseen 133 with first sentence. Quin etiam si quis asperitate ea est et inimitate naturae congressus ut hominum fugiat atque oderit. So the first sentence, but if anyone, etiam si quis, but if anyone were with such asperitate, but anyone is with, but we'll say was with, but if anyone was with asperitate, savage and inhumanity of nature, with such a savage and inhuman nature, ut that they, and obviously you've got here that, and we've got almost a result clause here, that he hated and fled the company, ut fugiat, that he hated, and fled, that he oderit and fugiat, hated and fled the congressus, the company of people. Qualem fuisse Athenis Timonem nescioquem accepimus, tamen is pati non possit, ut non anquerat aliquem apud quem evomat virus accepitatis suae. We believe accepimus, we believe Timonem. As soon as you see a verb of saying or thinking, there's quite a lot of indirect statements in here. We believe Timon of Athens, fuisse, to have been qualem, of such a type. Tamen is, but even he was non possit, was not able to allow, non possit pati. I don't think I've put in the verb patior, deponent verb I suffer, but even he was not able to allow, to suffer, that he would not, to allow that he would not anquirat, that he would not anquirat. I suppose you could actually say this is almost part of sort of an indirect command, to allow it that he would not anquirat, seek out aliquem, somebody, apud quem, with whom he could evomat, with whom he might spew out the venom of his anger, amongst whom he might spew out the venom of his anger. What you've actually got there is a relative clause within indirect speech. However, he wasn't allowed. Sorry, he was not able to allow it, that he would not seek out somebody with whom he, and because of this apud quem, with whom he could indirect. So essentially, you've got a subordinate clause within indirect speech. So we've got subjunctive for evomat, with whom he might spew out the venom of anger. The oratio obliqua. Atque hoc maxime judicaretur, si quid tale posset contingere. And this atque hoc, and this would be judicaretur, this would be most clearly proven, si quid, if such a thing, si quid tale, if such a thing posset was able, conditional here, if such a thing as this was able to happen. We're going to say what the this was. Ut aliquis nos Deus ex hac hominum frequentia toleret et in solitudine uspiam collocaret. That some God, aliquis Deus, look at the cases, look at the endings of each of the words, that aliquis Deus, so these words agree with one another, that aliquis Deus, that some God would tolerate, would lift us up, would tolerate nos is the accusative here, that some God would lift us up, ex hac, from these crowds, ex hac frequentia, from this crowd of people, et, and put us into uspiam, somewhere in solitudine, all alone. So if something like this were to happen, if some God were to lift us up out of the crowds of people and were to place us somewhere all alone, atque ibis subitatans omnium rerum, quas natura desiderat abundantiam et copiam hominis omnino aspiciendi potestatem eriper. And ibi, there, superitans, present participle, while providing, omnium res, or all of the things, while being a provider of all of the things, quas, which nature yearns for, in abundantium, in abundance and plenty. So if this were to happen, if we were to get put all on alone, if a God were to lift us up and place us all alone, and there the God provided us with all things, and there, while providing all the things which nature, all the things, relative pronoun, quas, which noun nominative, natura, which nature desiderat, which nature yearns for in abundance and plenty. If this were to happen, and that he, so this is the God we're talking about, and that he eriperet were to completely take away the potestatem, accusative there because of the em, the power of aspiciendi, and that is a gerund in the genitive case, and he were to completely take away the power of the ability of looking upon a... Actually, I look at this and I'm now thinking, sorry, it's not aspiciendi, is actually agreeing with hominis, therefore it is a gerundive. The power of a person being looked upon. It's passive, therefore it's a gerundive. My apologies there, everybody. So, and if he were to take away the ability of looking at a person, completely take away the ability of sort of company of people, but of setting sight on a person, if this were to happen, quis tam esset fereus, qui eum vitam fere posset, quique non auferet fructum voluptatum omnium solitudo. Who is such, quis tam esset fereus? Who is so made of iron that he, qui posset, that he would be able to bear that life? Quique. And for whom would this solitudino, would solitude, non auferet, not take away the fructum, accusative, the enjoyment of omnium voluptatum, of all the pleasures. So quis, who is so made of iron that he, and I suppose you could say there that's a result clause, that he would be able to bear such a life, that life, and to whom would the loneliness not steal away the pleasure, the enjoyment of all the pleasures. And then we've got coming up this rather wonderful, beautiful image and final line. Again, I find it, the last one that we were talking about was, what was that one that we were talking about? I can't even remember. It wasn't travel. The last one when we were talking about what you should do with your lives. When we have a person speaking 2,000 years ago, here we've got it talking about the need for company. We've got this very beautiful line, kind of, verum ergo illud est quod a Tarentino arcita ut opinor dici solitum nostro senes commemorare audivi ab alis senebus auditum. That customary saying, illud, so it's illud solitum. That customary saying is ergo, is therefore true. Quod, which is said, which is dici, by Arcita of Tarentum. I have audivi, I have heard nostros senes, I have heard our old men, I have heard our old men repeating it. Auditum, having heard it ab alis, from other elders, from other old people. So that illud, let's put all these words together, illud solitum, that customary saying, est, is ergo, is therefore true. Quod, which is said by Arcita of Tarentum, so I believe, ut opino, so I believe. Audivi, I have heard nostros, our elders, commemorare, to repeat it. Auditum, having been heard or having heard it, ab, by other old people. There we go, lots of stuff crossed off. Si quis in caelum ascendiset naturamque mundi et pulchritudinem siderum perspexisset, in suavem illam admirationem ephore, quae jucundissima fuesset si aliquem qui nararet habuesset. If someone, si quis, if someone, and look at this, it's a conditional contrary to fact, hence the pluperfect. If someone had climbed, had risen, ascendiset, if someone had risen in caelum into the sky, and he had perspexisset, and he had gazed at the naturam, the nature, mundi, genitive, of the world, and the pulchritudinem, and the beauty of the stars, if someone had risen into the sky and gazed at the nature of the world and the beauty of the stars, and then we've got this next bit, in suavem illam admirationem e fore, that it would be an ugly view. That view would be, that wonder would be ugly to him. Illam admirationem, that view, fore, would be in suavem, ugly to him, quae, which, now this is the view, the choir is referring here to the admirationem, which fuesset would have been, contrary to fact, most pleasant, jucundissima superlative. So this view which would have been so pleasant, see, if he habuesset had aliquem someone, qui, to whom he could narraret, to whom he could describe it. What this is saying is that your perfect score in your VCE, your A+ in Latin in your A-level, whatever different thing it may be, as wonderful as it could be, is pointless if you don't have those people that you care about and that you love, with whom you can share it. Well said, I think, Seneca. Okay, I will see you all next lesson.